I'm like one of the only Cafe con leches that decided to vote right this time for whatever reason.
Listen, I don't even know if I have the enough adult cream in my coffee to talk
I
about.
don't even know if I have enough con leche.
Hello.
That's the problem.
Listen.
It's the leche part.
It's the leche part. What is happening, leches? Listen, it has been a long freaking week, okay? And
it's so long. It's like this is like when you release a track and you get like the radio play and then you get the extended remix club after hours.
Exactly.
Extended mix.
Exactly.
You're like, damn, this is a long song.
A long song. But hey, here we are. But listen, we have so much to talk about on this week's show. But first,
we're gonna call it coffee today, but I don't know if at this point.
It's coffee with a twist at this point.
Twist.
Mm-hmm. We'll be right back.
Twist. Come on, my hair. Twist.
Listen.
Mocha in the Morning is brought to you in part by the Portico Cafe, where conversation, connection, and community create change.
Hello and welcome back to Mocha in the Morning, where we're adding a little flavor to your morning blend. Once again, I'm your host, Miss Keisha Boyd, and I'm joined by my co-host, officially Jorge. Listen, we have some great things coming up, but first, of course, his steamers. What you got for us today?
I'll give you steamers.
Yes.
Listen, so we've been so caught up with all this election drama, right? Even like the way the show looked, that we totally forgot, really, about Halloween.
Well, listen, that's okay.
Well, Hollywood didn't forget because, again, there were some super, super fabulous costumes. Roll the clip.
Yes, honey.
Okay, so, I mean, Lizzo doing her sexy voting thing. You have J-Lo looking like Madonna from the like a Virgin eras, and you have Lil Nas as Nicki Minaj. And you know what though? I'm telling you, you know who's been killing it? Like every single Halloween, like they just need to give her a crown. She's just Halloween queen, Sierra. Yes, nailed it again with a Janet Jackson, Busta Rhymes.
Yes. But you know what? That was really, really good. Especially how they incorporated like everybody, like the whole, her and Russell. But then, did you see the other costume they did?
She also did Megan Thee Stallion.
Yeah, but did you see how she was dropping it low? I said, okay, Sierra with the knees. Okay.
Right? And of course, Cardi B looking like Medusa. That was pretty like awesome.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that was pretty fun. So it was just nice. They remember to celebrate Halloween.
Yes, they did. And they put a lot of effort into it too. So yeah, next year we'll do better. How about that?
Oh, check this out. So for the first time ever, the American Black Film Festival is going virtual. Nice. Now, we've been to the film festival. What's that, Miami? It's always fun. So it'll be interesting to see, it's they're production people, so I don't think they're going to have an issue like at all.
Yeah.
Pulling this off. I mean, it just makes sense that they would be virtual anyway.
Absolutely. And I think it's going to be a wonderful, wonderful opportunity for those who usually cannot attend it in Miami. to really take advantage of it being virtual, which has been great for a lot of actual events because people are able to really take advantage of just being at home and then enjoying what they can, do and, exploring different things because they're at home and it's virtual.
Yeah, they're home streaming. Streaming.
No.
Hey,
why?
So the BET Hip Hop Awards.
Yes.
Okay, so we were having a conversation pre-production with our one of our producers.
What?
Nobody watches the BET Hip Hop Awards.
I mean, people actually do watch the BET Hip Hop Awards.
I watch it.
I mean, I watch the clips. I'm gonna be honest. I watch the clips. But what I loved the best part for me was the cipher. The female cipher is Tiana Taylor, was it Rhapsody? Tiana Taylor, Erykah Badu, and it was someone else I'm missing. But and Brandy, duh.
Yeah, that's right. Yes.
So they remixed that whole situation with I Want to Be Down, and it was phenomenal. It was phenomenal.
You have the best hip hop video, which was featuring Drake, the best hip hop album, and that was Roddy Ricch. Please excuse me for being antisocial. Oh my goodness, that's like the story of our lives.
Exactly.
Please excuse me for being socially distant.
Yes, thank you.
So check this out. In more entertainment news, some of our favorite divas. We have J-Lo, Christina Aguilera, and again Lizzo making some huge political statements. Now this is where I think, a lot of times, because sometimes I'll look at a celebrity a certain kind of way where I don't see where they stand on certain things. I like for my celebrities to just let me know where they stand.
And be firm about it.
Right. And be like, just let me know where you at. If you're that concerned. Because for a while, a lot of celebrities just, didn't really come out and say, who they're supporting in anything until the very last minute. It always had to be some more universal theme world hunger or an avalanche or earthquake. But when it comes to electing leaders, sometimes they be sidelining, and I'm like,
oh yeah, no. I definitely respect someone who is sure, even if it's not my, I'm not in agreement. I appreciate that they're transparent and open and honest and making some type of stance. But I would prefer that it's the right stance. But that's
right. So, anyways, so that's that.
Yeah.
Here we go. And of course, we've never seen anything like this in our lifetime. Girl, 45 finally got his wall. I don't know if you saw the wall built around the White House. It seems like everybody's boarding up, all of their, just waiting for everything, waiting for something really bad to happen, and I think this is really sad because a lot of people are like, oh, I can't believe, America is being this way. And I'm kind of like, no, they just it's revealing its true self.
Absolutely.
And that's, and sometimes, that's where the work starts.
Yeah.
Because you got to know what you're dealing with before you start, you can't just do a curbside appeal on your house and the foundation cracking through and you in a sinkhole.
Absolutely. That is a perfect analogy. Perfect analogy.
So it was just really interesting to see this time around that a lot of, and it seems to be a lot more affluent communities seem let's board up a lot of stuff before they come.
Yeah, but it's just the nature of our society, especially when you're the leader of the nation is talking about it's going to be, it's going to be violence and all this other extra stuff. He's setting that up and teeing it up because he's a loser. But moving on.
So anyway, so those are all the stories that we are going to be paying attention to this week. Right. If anything else kind of pops up, I know we're all kind of still I haven't slept in 3 days.
Listen,
walking around the house
exactly.
I got my passport ready, but I can't go nowhere.
Yep, absolutely. But listen, There's so much more. Thank you, Jorge, for our steamers. Yay! We're going to welcome our Mocha Marvels when we come back for our piping hot topics.
And I'll see y'all later.
Yes, we'll be right back right here on Mocha in the Morning while I'm draped in the sun. Oh.
I know, girl. You are sun-kissed.
We'll be right back.
Mocha in the Morning's Piping Hot Topics has been brought to you by Patty's Peppers, Hungarian hot and sweet peppers. Which will you choose? Why not both?
Hello and welcome back to Mocha in the Morning, where we're adding a little flavor to your morning blend. I am your host, Miss Keisha Boyd. And once again, it is time for Piping Hot. And to do so, I have to bring in my sisters, my Mocha Marvels, my beautiful ladies, Dr. Jen Dobson.
Hi, good morning. So happy to be here. What a rough week it has been.
Let me tell you something. We'll talk about that. Miss Kenya Woodard.
Happy Friday. Finally, the end of a crazy week.
Yes, you can see the wind is trying to take me away. And Miss Kia Shakur.
What's up, everybody? And shout out to my new favorite homegirl, Cindy McCain. Yes, Cindy McCain. Come through for the people.
Okay.
Yes.
Listen, I have all of my sisters with me. We're ready to jump right on into our piping hot topics. And of course, we got to go ahead and start with the Trump campaign shenanigans. And since we have our resident Republican right here with us, Kia, we'll start with you, girl. Listen, what is that? First of all, there was a Biden bus on the highway surrounded by Trump supporters that it looks like they were trying to run them off the road.
Because they were trying to run them off the road. And here's the problem with what's going on with this election. They're trying to compare Biden supporters to Antifa supporters to Trump supporters. And it's just a big mess. And, trying to run a bus off the road, that is not good political interaction. That's not good political relationship. It's just anarchy. I mean, let's say they would have actually gotten into a car accident. Then what? Then we've had all these people injured because Trump supporters are mad a bus full of people, just like they're in their car, is going to the next campaign rally event. And it's really sad. And I know they're trying to get license tags and figure out who this is, but this should not be something that happens ever again in the future, no matter what whatever party is, Republican or Democrat. We can't have this type of political season again. I don't think America will survive it.
Right. And see, and this it's a reoccurring thing, right? Where they surrounded her, Kenya, that was like scary. That's scary to be surrounded by people. And I mean, she didn't act like she was afraid of them or anything, but just the fact that you have people gun-toting people at that, coming into your space and your face, threatening you. That's crazy.
So it appears that in these instances, especially when it's someone who's a, activist for Black Lives Matter or just Black period, seemingly, that they are offered no protection from these folks who are adamant about expressing how they do not like, how they absolutely hate these types of activists, Black Lives Matter folk, the invisible Antifa folk that they swear are out there who are, bringing the country down. These kind of acts by people who claim to support Trump, it's not surprising. They are adamant about keeping the way things are. They don't want things to change. They absolutely don't want Biden to come in, because their thinking is that he's going to usher in and welcome in all of these Black Lives Matter activist people and the agendas that they bring with them. And they don't want that. So to see them behaving this way, it's not surprising.
Right. And that's crazy. Thank you guys for toughing it out with me with my with my internet connection. But listen, it's amazing to me, how bold these folks are and their antics. And one thing that it brings up, and I'll talk to Dr. Jen about this, is, just like they are protecting themselves and they are they have guns and I think that a lot of this too boils down to that too, is being able to protect yourself in that type of situation. Dr. Jan, I know that you are a licensed carrier, and I think that's important for our communities of color to be licensed to carry as well, and to protect themselves, because we just don't know how this will work out when we're surrounded in this type of situation.
Yeah, so it's really important, but as we all know, and as we've talked about before, there's rules. There's two different rules. There's rules for white America, and then there's rules for Black America. And it's very, very, I caution people on carrying weapons. Even my son, he's licensed. I mean, he's a young Black man, he's only 20, just turned 22. But there are different rules. And yes, part of me says, yes, it's important to carry. My family, my brothers, my son, we all, believe in having weapons. I have, a weapon here at the house. But at the same token, we also have to understand that us carrying and them carrying is very different. So we might see it as a way to protect ourselves, but it could in fact backfire and be another reason for police to retaliate against us. So it's such a double sided sword. It's really hard to say which one makes the most sense.
Absolutely, and I agree that we have to be extremely, extremely cautious when we're carrying, both men and women, just Black people, period. But listen, the elections have happened. We're still waiting to finalize and figure out who's won. But our current leader has declared that he is the winner, regardless of the fact that there are legitimate votes still coming in. And he is just, as usual, sparking all this debate. Kenya, how dare he? Really?
Yeah, oh yeah, really.
Really?
Anything that Donald Trump has in abundance, it's the audacity. This is not unexpected for him. He absolutely was going to follow this plan in terms of mapping out how he was going to fight back against any hint that he was losing. And so that's what we're seeing. Threats of taking, states to court, challenging the results, insulting, voters in a sense that, hey, I want to stop all of the counting. Well, why can't you wait until all the votes are counted? I mean, that's what we do here in America, right? That's part of democracy. And he is just not having it. It's not unexpected, though. This was exactly the play that was in plan. He's been putting these kind of seeds in place all along throughout the campaign. So for him to, just outright declare that he's the winner, no matter what, the states say, no matter what the results say, he's the winner. That's not far-fetched at all. I'm not surprised.
Right. I don't think that any of us at this point are surprised by any of the things that he does. However, he has already said that, he is going to demand the recount in Wisconsin because, of course, he's throwing a temper tantrum if he doesn't win. So in his eyes, he has got to do a recount, which, hey, have at it. But let's talk about some things that we can celebrate in this election thus far. There were some wins for us that we like to talk about. Kia, let's talk about, this election and it being some of the highest turnout that we've ever had in the 120 years that we've been voting.
Yeah, and really quick, I want to go back to something that Kenya said. Another reason why Trump is having an issue is because he keeps making this comment about how it's taking so long to vote, to count votes. They're finding votes in different places. That's not the case. These polling places are following COVID-19 guidelines. So you can't have 55 counters in there at one time handing in their numbers. They can only have a certain amount, which of course is going to take longer. And Wisconsin's already counted 3 times. So if he's going to have them count a 4th time, it is what it is. But like you said, as far as small wins, the voter turnout. Guys, when is the last time you stood in the line to vote? 2008, right? 2008 is the last time we all stood in lines to vote. This year, it was a line out the door in my small little city to vote. There have been a record amount of numbers of people who are mailing in their votes. This is amazing. I mean, I think it's fantastic. Regardless of who people are voting for, the fact that people really realize this is an important election and are making their voices heard is really important. And I think it's great.
Here's the other thing too. We learned a lot throughout this election as well. One, when it comes to Latino voters, I don't think either the Republicans or the Democrats quite understand how to talk to them. Dr. Jen, let's talk about those dynamics, of Latinos, like we say in Arizona versus the Cubans down in Miami. The language is very different, meaning what they understand. Well, what they digest and figure is relative to them, right? So tell me how, because in Miami-Dade, I think that Trump was zeroing in on the things that would resonate with Cuban Americans down in Miami to get that area.
Right. I think there was a disconnect between what Latinos and Cubans, Cuban Latinos, what they expected to hear in order for them to be swayed in this election versus what the marketing that was done. And to be very, very, very blunt, and I know some people might not like this comment, but I think that what happens in the Cuban community in especially in the Miami area, Fort Lauderdale, Miami area, is I think a lot of the Cubans there really kind of consider themselves as white. And I believe because of that, maybe misconception, that they tend to vote in that direction, which we've seen other than Obama. We've seen that most of the Cuban communities have voted Republican. So it was kind of expected. And I went to Cuba a few years ago, and I can see where there's a disconnect in the culture as far as, kind of the belief systems and so forth. So it wasn't surprising to me that a lot of the Cuban and Latin voters went and voted Trump, unfortunately. Not a surprise at all.
Yeah, I'm not surprised either with that. And just, with that explanation, absolutely. Here's the other thing. Kia, you want something? Kia has something to say and share. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to say something. I feel like when a lot of people say the Latino community, they're looking at it as one big bucket of people, when these are actually different countries with different values. I mean, Mexican Americans, we've seen what Trump has said about them. They're over here. We have Cuban Americans, like you said. We have Latinos from all sides who actually pass, who want to be considered as white. We have the Afro-Latino community, who actually, a lot of them identify as Black and feel that Black struggle. So I feel like where everybody, Democrats and Republicans, are messing up is that they're looking at the Latinx community as just, they're all the same. They're all just white people with tacos. I don't know, but they keep looking at them like that instead of looking at them as completely different cultures and situations. That was really bad.
That was horrible. That was horrible, Jennifer Lewis.
I'm sorry.
Anyway, okay, that is okay. Listen, the other thing is, right, we do have some things that happened in here. One, Black women, as usual, as the past in history has shown, has carried this vote, right? We are going to the polls. We have led. We need our cakes because we are the queens. We are carrying it. Okay. Two, our elected officials are back in the house, right? So we're talking about Omar, Presley, Tlaib. They all win their re-election in the House, which is amazing, Kenya, right? That they've been re-elected.
Yeah, the squad of four who you're referring to. And
yes.
Now, let's be clear, they had some challengers for their
spots.
Oh, yeah. I think there was like $10 million dumped into AOC's campaign, right? Crazy. But they're still there. And that's because they do a very good job at representing their constituents. They do a good job of voicing their issues and putting their agendas forward and coming through for their communities. And not only that, standing up to Trump. I mean, obviously, that's what their citizens want to see, is someone that can take on Trump and Republicans. And so that's, how they've been able to, come across and stay in office. They're kind of like the Justice League, if you will, against Trump and Republicans. And so they're going to be there for another 2 years, making all the kind of noise that they've been making for the last 2 years. I'm excited to see what's ahead for this four.
Absolutely. And then some other things that we want to mention. Obviously, Miss Cori Bush out of Ferguson was elected to the Congress, first Black woman to represent Missouri in Congress, so whoop whoop to her. And also Richie Torres and Mondaire Jones will be the first openly gay Black men to serve in Congress. So So we're very, very excited about that. Let's skip and go down to, or let's talk about the Kentucky police commissioner, who thought it was, okay to use Hitler references in the training manual for the local police. No. How about hell no? Dr. Jan, please help me.
I mean, once again, like, I'm never surprised, right? When I read the article, I'm like, okay, that sounds right. And I think, again, it goes back to a disconnect between, understanding like different cultures, right? And this goes to like, even like when we look back into like high school, right? We're not teaching white America, we're not teaching the majority of Americans the tact that's necessary when we're talking about other cultures and other issues. And fortunately, he resigned because I'm sure that it was definitely forced upon him. But why would it ever be considered acceptable to use something as horrible as that in any type of training? But we know that this goes on, generally not being put on paper, but this has been going on for a very long time, especially in small areas and rural areas and, Republican-based areas where we'll see a lot of this happen.
And it's definitely unfortunate that people who signed up and went through this training, none of them said, hey, this is wrong. A whole high school paper, okay, had to point out that the references from Robert E. Lee and Hitler were mentioned in this training manual. So, hello. I mean, it's just ridiculous. And let's talk about also moving on into some other things, more entertainment-wise. So, yeah, Cardi B and Offset have been in the news, obviously, because she filed for divorce, etc. Now she is like, no, we're going to stay together. Kia. Yeah, how did this come about and work?
Oh, yeah, bring it right over to the messy maven over here. Yes. So I'm going to say this is the third time that she's taken a divorce back, or is it the second time? I'm losing count of how many times she's going to allow him to just literally slither his way back into her life. And now what he is doing, he has got on Instagram, now that she's taking the papers back, and is embarrassing her and just making little weird jokes and comments about her in the light of it's just a joke and we're a couple, but he's not good for her. Offset is the epitome of a toxic male of I'm going to try you, do disrespectful stuff, whether I'm cheating or not, I'm going to say what I want to say. And then once you even give me a smidge of a window, I'm going to start showering with presents so you let me come back in. That's not marriage. We're me and you are married. We know that's not one. You're not going to buy me nothing after you tried me on social media.
Hello.
No, that's not how it works.
You know what? It's a
form of abuse.
It is. It's a form of abuse. And almost like a form of abuse and control, right? Because obviously he knows her weakness and he knows that she has struggled with her self-confidence and carrying herself in high regard. And he just plays on that, and it's horrible. It is horrible. So, I mean, I wish her the best of luck. And all I can say is don't stay together because of the child, because the child will understand that there is not real love and happiness in that house, and it will hurt her more than it will help her. Now, let's move on to why, our racists are big mad because Jodie Turner-Smith will play Queen Anne Boleyn. Kenya, they are hot. They are upset. And why? Why are they so upset?
And they have every reason to be upset. Listen, so Hollywood thinks that, let's right the wrongs and put Black woman in the role of playing a white queen, a real white woman who was, a historical figure. Ridiculous. This is setting back all of those. Remember a few years ago, it was the Oscar So White movement, and there was this whole big old uproar about ensuring that there were more viable roles for Black folks and they could be visible. And not only that, but also to tell their own stories. Why on earth would you cast a Black woman to play Anne Boleyn? Makes absolutely no sense. And so supposedly this is some kind of reimagination of the Anne Boleyn story, but we really don't need that, right? And we certainly don't need a Black woman playing Anne Boleyn. Of all the Black women characters, historical figures that still have yet to have their stories told, you're going to put a Black woman in as Anne Boleyn? This is bananas. I don't get it.
Kia, go ahead, girl. I see you itching.
And I'm glad. I hope Kenya stays like right here. Well, whatever. Listen, if they had a white guy play Martin Luther King, it would be a problem. If they had a white guy play Malcolm X, it would be a problem. These are historical figures. It's not like Ariel, the Little Mermaid, where you can pick whoever you want. She's a cartoon character. Who cares? They could have had a black person play Jasmine in Aladdin. It does not matter. But when you have real historical people with real history, you cannot just throw anybody in there. And they were like, oh, well, Ben Kingsley played Gandhi. Ben Kingsley is half Indian, so he can play Gandhi. Don't play with me. I've done my research on actors. Let's not go there.
That is correct, and it's very true. So yes, this is not the way for Hollywood to make things right. Create more roles that feature Black actors and actresses, not throw us in these uncomfortable positions where we are misrepresenting. It's still misrepresentation. It's still asking us to conform to something that we're not. So no, wrong. That is not the business at all, whatsoever. All right, so listen, that's that. Listen, so Beyonce, okay, listen, first of all, she did her new Ivy Park drip. Listen, Dr. Jen, Beyonce dropped her line. How much money is Beyonce making off this thing? Like, how much money is she raking in? Just one off her Ivy Park line. One, okay, and then she's on the cover of British Vogue. She's doing all this other stuff, and she dropped an announcement, saying that she's going to step away from music. Now, first of all, the Beehive, I don't think they want to hear that at all.
No, first of all, she had plenty of break time in the midst of this whole COVID fiasco. Okay, I do love Beyonce. I'm a big fan. I saw her Formation tour when she came to Tampa. So she can really do no wrong, like in my eyes, to be honest with you. I find, like, I didn't like her in the beginning. Don't get me wrong. I didn't like her when she was young. But I like her ever since she's grown into her maturity, into understanding Black culture, into understanding how important it is for Black women. And ever since she's been doing that, especially from Formation Tour, I'm hands down her fan. Now, the money that she's making in Ivy Park, and I believe she's doing some stuff with Adidas too, if I'm not mistaken. She's about to make a killing. Not that she needed the money, but hey, the more the merrier for her future generations and generations after that. Like, they'll never have to worry about anything money-wise ever in life, which is fantastic. And honestly, like, at the end of the day, if she wants to take a break from music and she wants to concentrate on these other things, I mean, I think more power to her. I mean, she's got those babies, which I don't even know how old the babies are now. They've got to be, 2? So, that's really important as well. I think that, she's been in the industry for 15 years. And, we've all got to see her grow and expand. And now she's becoming the woman that I think a lot of us respect and admire, especially as Black women.
I agree totally. When you are married and have, children, she has 3 children now that need her. Like, she has to raise her children. I respect the game. I respect her for realizing that and not being greedy. You know what I'm saying? Like, she doesn't have to do another thing and she's okay. Her children are okay. She didn't have to do another thing and she will still be great. Okay. I just feel like she has a right to say, listen, y'all can't control my life. I can't, jeopardize my family and well-being just to please my fans. And if you are my real fans, then you'll understand that I need to do this for my own joy, for my family's joy, for my children. So shout out to Beyonce for recognizing what she needs in her life to maintain her sanity and her joy. My Mocha Marvels, I also want to say thank you again to you all for always being available, being here with us every Friday for our Piping Hot Topics. You all look amazing. Although we had a stressful week, you still look that dang going good, okay?
Yay, thank you.
Thank you guys.
See you all. Look, don't let the winds take me away, but I will see y'all next week. Mwah, mwah, mwah. And we'll be right back with Officially Jorge and more on this week's Mocha in the Morning. Stay tuned.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by the Klingman Group. Your Mocha Minute is brought to you by blackinthebay.com, your online connection to everything that's Black in the Bay.
Good morning, Mocha Marvels. We want you to check out this week's Mocha Moment.
You ready, Sam?
Yeah.
We tell everybody what they can be when they grow up. They can be anything. You ready?
Yes.
Let's go.
You can be an A. You can be an architect. Get a building to kiss the sky. You can be a B. You can be a biochemist. Make medicine save lives. You can be a C. Computer software developer with programs and systems and files. You can be a D. You can be a dentist.
All right, that was an action-packed show. As usual, we love our Mocha Marvels joining us for our Piping Hot segment. Jorge, your steamers were amazing. It's been a week, to say the least, right?
I feel like I'm in a perpetual state of 2020.
Listen, it's November. This month is going to fly by, and then it's December, it's going to fly by, and then next thing you know, it's Happy New Year 2021. Woo! Like, we can't do nothing but go up from here. Let's hope.
Right? It's kind of like this. It needs like 2020 needs like an energy drink just to wrap it up.
Yes. Hurry it along. But we've enjoyed you. Of course, we want you to share with your other friends and family. Let them know about Mocha in the Morning. We want more Mocha Marvels on our team. Find us on all platforms at Mocha Morning Show. And we look forward to seeing you next week on Mocha in the Morning, where we're adding a little flavor to your morning blend. See you next week.
Yes. Mocha willing. It's a zombie. If we haven't been hit with a zombie apocalypse.
Because everybody loves to smile. You can be an E. You can be an engineer. Solve problems of all kinds. Chemical, mechanical, electrical. Use the power of your mind. You can be an S. You can be a firefighter. Fight fires in red trucks. You can be a G. Gastroenterologist. Deal with problems in the gut. You can be an H. Hospital administrator. Hospitals need leaders. You can be an I, intelligence officer. The FBI kind of people. You can be a J, you can be a judge. Help people who seek justice.